So confidence interval is basically a range for your population mean, that the population mean lies somewhere in between. So to calculate your confidence interval, this is the formula: x bar, that is your sample mean, z value, this you get from your confidence interval percentage, and s over root n is basically your standard deviation of the sample, right? So let's say x follows a normal, mu and variance is 3.5. So x is basically the entire population. Now let's say I take a sample of 50 people, right? So I know that x bar follows a normal, mu I don't know, but my variance becomes 3.5 over 50. Sorry, 3.5 squared. 3.5 squared is my variance. Yeah. Okay, so now let's say I have to find a 95% confidence interval for my population mean. So a 95% confidence interval means that this is where my population mean lies, right? And this entire area is 0.95. So this is the z value I need to find. Now since my bell curve is symmetric, this means that this area is 2.5% and this area is 2.5%, which means that this entire region is 0.975. So I'll find the z value corresponding to the area of 0.975, and this turns out to be 1.96. Now let's say my x bar is 173. Now using the formula, 173 minus 1.96 into 3.5 over root 50. Same thing on the other side. 173 plus 1.96 into 3.5 over root 50. So this turns out to be 172 and 174. Right. So basically this means that my population mean lies between 172 and 174. Now let's say you have been given your the range for population mean and you're told to find x bar. So if you have to find x bar, basically all you do is add the both limits and divide them by 2 and you get your x bar, because this middle region is basically your x bar over here. So the width, now what's the width? Width is basically this part. Let me use a different color. This part is your width, and if you have to find the width, the formula is, let's use W. The formula for width is 2 into Z into sigma over root n. Sigma over root n or sigma over root n or s over root n is basically your standard deviation of your sample, and this is how you find your and this is how you find the width: 2 into Z into sigma over root n. Because let's say if I do this and this is my mu over here, then this region is z into sigma over root n, and this region is z into sigma over root n. So these two added makes your width, that is 2 twice of z into sigma over root n, z being your z value at the corresponding confidence interval percentage. So this is how you calculate a confidence interval using your sample. Alright, so this is it for confidence interval. We'll do proportions in the next video and confidence interval for proportions in the next video.